start with the Knicks, though, the NBA draft. They don't trade Porzingis. So what was the point of all that rhetoric? And they don't take anybody other than the French point guard, and Monk's on the board. I don't know what they're doing, but I do know this. Phil Jackson fell asleep for real when he met one of the kids. Go figure. It's Knick basketball. Come get some. Good morning, Boomer. How are you today, my boy?
I'm doing all right, Craig. Yeah, it's kind of interesting watching that draft last night and just thinking to myself, like, are they going to be stupid enough to trade Porzingis? And I was texting with Wally before the draft. Right. And I said, Wally, what are the chances that they're going to trade Porzingis? And he just sent back, no chance.
Really?
Not a chance.
So you had that.
And he goes, they're basically what they're doing is they're tweaking Porzingis. And I get it. I understand what they're doing. They're making it a little tough on him. And then they go get this 18-year-old French kid. Right. Here we go.
No surprises.
There's nothing. So basically, the biggest surprise of last night was probably Jimmy Butler going to Minnesota.
That's it, which is a huge deal. It makes Minnesota, although I don't think they can win a title, obviously, out West, but it makes them a legitimate playoff team with the pieces they have out there now. And, starts changing the dynamic, at least, of the West. But, just sticking to the Knicks for a second, there was nothing earth-shattering about it. There was nothing clever about it. There was nothing that made you think, all right, we got a plan. Whereas the Nets pulled off a trade, when no one saw it coming a couple days ago. For D'Angelo
the Knicks
Russell.
have no assets.
The Knicks have, but
their only asset is Porzingis.
What I don't get is what's the long-term benefit of playing that game for 2 days they played, in which they came out and they said, "Yeah, no, he's done. Who wants him?" Right?
I think maybe you test the waters, and maybe you see if whether or not you could get something from Boston, because it seemed like they were the ones that were really considering it, and whether or not you can get more draft picks and more prospects. Because look, let me tell you something. When you look at Washington, Boston, Philadelphia, within their own conference, their own division, these teams are all young. They're all up and coming. They're all energy driven. They're all I won't say terrifically run, but much better run than the Knicks are. The Knicks are so far behind. It's not even close.
That's very true.
If you have one asset, and that asset happens to be Kristaps Porzingis, I think you do yourself a disservice if you do not at least explore something just to see what's out there. So maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe they were tweaking Kristaps. Who knows? But at the end of the day, are they better today than they were yesterday? I would say with an 18-year-old point guard, there's a lot of learning. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs with this young kid, and it's not going to be for another 3 or 4 years before you finally see the true measure of how good this draft pick will be.
And that's the problem with it. In the deepest draft in the last decade, where everyone that was picking in single digits should have gotten a player that immediately helped the franchise.
Well, maybe
I'm not saying they're getting Jordan or anyone like that, but you have a kid just based on being 18 and having played in Europe, which I think there is some upside of playing in Europe versus playing 1 year of American college. I won't deny that. But you can't have expectations for him. You're not going to expect this kid to come in here and light the world on fire. And you've seen the video. I've seen the video. Neither one of us can actually tell you the kid can play the NBA.
I don't know. We won't know until he's out there and he's going against Russell Westbrook and he's going against guys like Steph Curry and all this other stuff and Isaiah Thomas. It's going to take time for him. And he's a young. I think of myself. This kid is 18 years old and he's from a foreign country. Right. And he's coming here and he's going to be put right in the middle of the dysfunction that is the Knicks. Yep. Now the question is, I can't wait for him to say today, oh, man, I'm looking so forward to playing with
Porzingis or Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, Jesus God.
Well, you know it's going to be Melo, right?
I know. That's the thing. And, and what's the influence again? And we've already seen the negative influence that has permeated this team from their so-called team leader and their team captain. I mean, it's just, if they don't get rid of Carmelo, then it's going to be another level of this crap for another year. And I think that the Knicks, honestly, they've talked down Carmelo so much that people out there know that to trade for him is ridiculous.
Because, at some point, if you buy that he's not playing for the Knicks next year, then you have to also buy into the notion that if the Knicks are going to let him go into that stretch rule, which allows them to take his remaining salary, double the amount of years, I think it's 6 years actually, and pay him out over 6 years. But I agree with you. If you're the people that are putting your own commodity down and I'm in the market for that commodity potentially.
Sure.
Well, number one, you've lowered his value. Number two, I'll roll the dice that you're going to let him go, and I can go pick him up for nothing.
The whole thing.
You're right. They misplayed it.
And even Phil Jackson said something last night about this young kid and how he plays defense. And
come on.
And Phil talked about how he thought his own team played better defense. And even though we gave up a lot of points, we were starting to get. I'm like, I don't know what. I have no idea what he is talking about.
He's trying to talk basketball stuff to make guys like us and the fans who hear a guy talking as if he knows what he's talking about sound smart. The kid played juniors. He's a kid.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about his own assessment of his team from last year. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you really honestly serious? I mean,
that's the sad thing. I think he is. We're good at what we do. Oh, I did a great job. So, and here's the problem with it. You know, the NBA draft, when you're picking top 10.
Is he smoking dope again? I mean, what are we doing here? Oh, yeah. No.
There you go. Yo,
and he fell asleep at a prospect's tryout or something.
Well, he's 70-some-odd years old, right?
I think back to the 1969.
He's like Donnie Walsh without the wheelchair and the basketball acumen.
I wish you guys could have seen the 1969 Knicks. That was basketball poetry. That was how the game was supposed to be played. Those were the guys that played it the right way. They liked each other. They played together. They won a championship. They did it in like just amazing fashion. That was the 1969 Knicks.
I mean, I saw the Warriors. I don't need to say anything else. That's basketball.
I mean, it's just like, what is going on?